what game number 3 draft has in store for us, as hopefully we don't encounter similar debacles like in game number 1.
I like the word debacle, so I kind of hope that we do encounter one, just so you get to say debacle again.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens here as Hanwha. We'll see what their bans are going to evolve into. Rise, taken off the board. Surprise, surprise.
Is it a surprise?
Surprise.
All right.
No, we don't need to say something to him. He's gone.
He's gone.
Not going to see him this time around. See whether that means the Hanwha are going to go for something like a Vladimir first pick. Can actually be picked up against a lot of the champions on the top side of the map and have a decent time in the early game. It was the Aatrox that we saw yesterday being the answer to the Vladimir quite effectively. But Kalista going to be off the board. Some pretty standard red side stuff coming in here from SKT to start it off.
Kalistar being banned away.
Kalistar. Really?
Really?
You're going to jazz that one up with a bit of LS flavor as well, are we?
Alright, well.
I actually like Kalistar. That one can stay.
Alright.
That one can stay. Well, I mean, it can't. It's been banned, but I'm okay with it.
Right.
We ever need to talk about it again. Kalistar is totally alright.
Alright.
Not going to veto that.
Alright. Nice. Well, with her being banned away, you don't have to ban the Holy Trinity.
That's true.
That usually accompanies her. And so SK Telecom, now they are going to ban Lissandra after Hanwha Life. On the blue side, banned away the Jace.
Yep.
I love it.
I mean, it's weird. But I'm not going to question it. They won the first game, and they banned LeBlanc Jace Galio. This time, it is this time it's Rise Jace Galio.
Yep. SK Telecom final ban now. Will it be a LeBlanc or a Lucian?
Or a Vladimir.
Or an Olaf.
Or an Olaf. Well, I think our Olaf ban, feels pretty good. Means that the Vladimir is available if Hanwha or SKT would like to go towards it. But LeBlanc is also standing out as an option here for Lava to head back to. I would like him to pick it up. I'd like him to also go Electrocute or something like that. Maybe a step away from the Klepto, but they're not going to do it. It is going to be Tal locking away the Vladimir once again. Could be flexed into Lava if they would like to. Sungyun could also have that champion, as SKT identified as well by banning the Shen in the last game. Faker thinking about picking this one up, and if the LeBlanc is locked in here, you could imagine that Hanwha might be able to look towards a Zoe pickup. It will guarantee that the Vladimir will be heading towards the top lane unless it's put in the bottom lane.
And that would end up meaning that there's a lot of heavy magic damage on the side of Hanwha Life yet again. And obviously LeBlanc able to itemize into the Banshee's Veil. It's not the best of feelings. Clid picking up the Lee Sin once again.
And with no Olaf to answer it this time around, I wonder what Bono's going to default to after that. Bono's Zac has looked pretty good, but that is going to put even more magic damage on the side of Hanwha, meaning that that flexibility of the Vladimir to the bottom lane goes another rung down as far as being a good idea.
Looks like they have something up their sleeve. He seems quite excited. Okay.
All right, here we go. And that is going to be the classic combo. Bono possibly with the Gragas locked in, but it could also just be the bottom lane picked up here for Hanwha. Still a lot of flexibility in what they've done, and I love this. You've got the extra physical damage, and you've got a beautiful combo roaming around early on in this game. And early on has been the aim here, right? Neither of these teams has been able to recover from early deficits. So get yourself something that can create opportunities early in the game. And Gragas does come online before the Lee Sin does. Marta's going to default to his Tahm Kench. Definitely a famous pickup for him when he was on KT. Saving his teammates left, right, and center. It felt like he was on Tahm Kench or Shen or bust. In most of those games.
And the interesting thing here is that picking the Tahm, you're sort of surrendering bottom lane potentially. I think that now Hanwha Life, you just want to pinch the 80 carry pool. Ezreal is obviously still available. I think that you do probably want to ban that away, and they are doing that.
Yep, like it.
In SK Telecom, they ban away the Bard, even though Gragas has the option to just go down bottom lane.
I like Gragas in the jungle much more. We've seen it recently just launch up in priority. Even Punch a couple of days ago was glorious on that Gragas pickup. It was denied from score both times around for KT yesterday. In fact, all three, because that went to a 3-game series. Thresh taken off the board as well. So Key really getting targeted here. He's got a wry grin on his face. We'll see whether that means that they are going to flex that bottom lane duo.
Well, we'll see now what the final ban is. Maybe Lucian is just taken off the table. That would make SK Telecom's team composition hyper-aggressive, and so instead, they are actually going to ban away the Ashe, and SKT maybe want to go the route of Varus.
Whoa, okay. A bit of a blast from the past.
Yeah, attack speed Varus. Highly, highly unlikely that it will be the lethality Varus that goes for all of the poke with the piercing arrows.
Yep.
And
oh no, don't do
oh
it.
Man,
please, 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 please. 6-game losing streak for the Kai'Sa at the moment here in the LCK. So we don't like seeing that. Feels like the all right, okay, Key.
Oh man,
sounds fine. This is going to be the answer to Thomas. Just grab him out of the way and avoid any of these pesky devours. You can also, you know, grab the Varus and then out of devour range. No worries there at all.
And this is a really scary team composition for Hanwha. Now, how is SK Telecom going to respond to this? They're hovering a Kennen. Hanwha wants you to come into them.
All right. Well, Kenny is going to be the response.
Take over, Alice. I'm going to need a little bit of time here.
All right, you process, and I'm going to jump in and talk about Blitzcrank, because the last time we saw Blitzcrank be really, really successful was when Ignar was back here on the beautiful BBQ Oliver's lineup. Relegated, unfortunately, to the realm of Challenger, but that means that LS gets to pick up the coaching role.
Nice.
And try to bring them off the brink. An opportunity for BBQ to make their way back into the LCK. Middle of the season, assuming Challenger is going to go better than it otherwise is. The answer in Kenny is going to be a rough one. Into the Vladimir. You could imagine that Vlad's probably still going to have an okay time. Gets punished in the early game, but I don't know whether Kennen necessarily strikes me as a pick like
Vladimir
the Rise.
Historically destroys Kennen in the later stages of the game, and Kennen has only received nerfs since the last time both of these champions were meta, both indirectly and directly, I believe, whereas Vladimir has only received indirect buffs to himself. So it's very bizarre to see the pick come in last, especially because it's an engaged champion onto a team comp that wants to be on top of you.
Yeah.
And so it's really peculiar to me. Also, double magic damage on the side of SK Telecom in the LeBlanc and the Kennen as well, which puts enormous amounts of pressure onto Klid. And if Varus is the auto-attack Varus, yes, he will have the wit's end to try to give the Kennen and LeBlanc a little bit of amplification, but he's dealing magic damage too, so is Tahm Kench. I don't know how SK Telecom's supposed to win if this game goes beyond 3 items.
Yeah.
I really don't understand.
It's going to be scary, and maybe that means that you go for lethality, Varus. Try and really go all in on getting that early game damage in. We'll see what SKT want to do as we get into game 3. Whoa. SKT fans, they know that they might be in a difficult scenario here as Key. Okay. All right. Let's see what you were trying to do there, Mr. Blitzcrank.
Did you?
Yep.
Oh, because we're watching the game.
Yeah, we're watching the game.
So you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. It's the observer mode. Spectator.
You know who couldn't see is SKT.
Yeah, they couldn't.
They couldn't. We could.
Oh, look at that. Ghost Poro. Got clipped.
That is a lot of mana. That's a very heavy...
Yeah. Now, level 1, if you throw out 2 hooks, you can't throw out a third. Is generally how it works. Double Klepto here for both Tal and Khan. And we're going to be scaling, boys.
Yeah, I am very surprised, actually, to see these runes being taken by both of the top laners. I do think this is going to benefit Vladimir a lot more than it should benefit Kennen. Yeah. And Yasuo here trying to stack up one of his Qs as Faker comes in here. And this means that Lava's able to approach the lane with the tornado, throw it out.
To the side.
Nothing. Yeah, completely whiffed.
But didn't want to mess with the minion wave. Wants that to shove towards him so that it can be a little bit safer in case the Lee Sin looking for some level 2 shenanigans. Some reserved play in the mid lane from our Yasuo friend. Crimson Rush, not going to be utilized there from Tal, but is able to get a cheeky auto after his Q.
You know, I absolutely love Klepto versus Klepto matchups, because if one of the Klepto users just keeps rolling like a god, it really just tilts the opponent.
It's even more tilting than if you don't have Klepto.
Yep.
It's if the opponent's Klepto is just better. Speaking of being just better, we got vertical jungling coming down here. That is going to mean that control of the bottom side of the map is going into the hands of SKT as Lava takes an absolutely horrific trade and even eats a whole bunch of minion damage, but evens it out again after landing that tornado. That's a great news story here for the mid laner from Hanwha.
Bounces back a little bit as Faker has only used one of the corrupting potions.
I actually really like this. From Hanwha, we get to see who's going to be the best Yasuo. We saw Tempt actually play very effectively on the Yasuo last time out here for Hanwha Life. Haven't really seen it so much. From Lava.
Gold Satchel for Thal. Managed to be picked up on the Vladimir Klid. Now, does know about Bono. Oh, man.
Yeah, Bono going to be able to clear this one out.
Oh,
that's a red buff for you, my friend. That's Klid with the 3 buff and also might be able to punish Bono here, but decides not to. It's just going to let him slink under his turret. And the Gragas having a poor time. Actually failed to identify the fact that it was a 3 buff start here for Klid, starting on his red buff. Thought that maybe vertical jungling had him come in here in favor of Bono. Not going to happen.
One of the really interesting things here, though, is that Bono is able to hit tab. He's like, oh, okay, you only have 12 CS. Well, I guess this means that your Raptor camp and everything's still up. I don't know where Bono is going, but I guess he wants to back off because Faker had priority in mid lane, and if Lee Sin just comes right on over...
Oh my goodness, that was close.
Then things can definitely be bad.
Bono gets back home. You can see Tal sitting on 2 sacks of gold, but Khan has been
using
his
about.
each time. So I actually saw one of them pop up, so
okay.
Khan isn't that far behind. He's just a little bit more diligent of keeping his items a little bit more empty, and he's got a red pot, so that feels great as a Kennen, especially in the early levels, in fact.
We'll have to see how everything ends up happening there in the top lane as... So far, Vladimir seems to be doing just fine. Bono now down here in bottom. Oh, man.
Oh,
that's a 2-for-1.
That's the 2-for-1 special. Exactly right. There's the boot back. Nice gray health going to be utilized as the exhaust comes through. Not able to get the double tap there as Teddy can't find the last auto attack on Sangyun. They do get the heal out, but Teddy, he's got the teleport, and they've got a full minion wave that they're going to lose now, as Lava's got inside track moving over to this blue buff.
And I really like what Lava's doing right here. He's utilizing the temporary priority in mid lane. He comes over with Bono, and now they're going to actually counter jungle the Lee Sin. And Teddy not forced off the entire wave, even though he already committed to the teleport. Now, he knows that he's not on top of a ward, because Teddy and Mata have never had priority in lane and managed to get a ward in this location. So Klid...
Ooh, this is aggressive, though, here from
man.
Bono. Key's going to move over. Mata not on vision. Gets himself down there as there's the knock-up. But Bono is in so much trouble. Doesn't have flash. He's going to go down. First blood over to SKT. And that was just straight up a misplay from the jungler of Hanwha Life.
Yeah, Bono definitely being a little bit greedy there, going for the Gromp. It doesn't actually do anything. You, in fact, end up doing Lee Sin a favor because it's level 1 Gromp. You're never going to be in a position to eat it again. And so you're giving your opponent a free rubber banded camp that doesn't really provide that much value for you. I definitely think that Hanwha Life fumbled the post bottom lane play. Teddy definitely shouldn't have been allowed back onto the turret, given where Yasuo was and Gragas. And so I think Hanwha Life definitely missing out on a bit of opportunity. Meanwhile, back in mid lane.
Yeah, a lot of extra damage going down on a Faker there as Khan moves himself into the mid lane, gets himself the stun, but the cleanse is there immediately to answer. But that is a summoner spell going in favor of Lava.
Yep.
Very satisfying as you watch the Yasuo clear out the minion waves.
This is a very unfortunate situation as Lava has priority of the lane on a non-cannon minion wave, which does mean that he will get the crash. Faker will miss some of these minions, whereas normally on a cannon wave in mid lane, if you recall on it, maybe one melee minion goes into the turret and then the cannon starts absorbing all the turret damage.
Yeah.
And you get back to the lane and you don't miss anything. But on cannonless waves, you do end up missing out on some things, and now Lava is going to be the one that gets to return to the lane on a cannon wave and miss virtually nothing.
Well, Faker pops himself into this brush. Hook is going to connect onto the dragon. You can't bring that over the wall, Keith. You should know better. Sangyun hit by everything, as it is going to be the attack speed for Teddy. We should have known that as lethal tempo did come in. I don't know how happy I am about it. I like the lethality, Barris.
You know what I would like is if Blitzcrank's hook had a weight limit.
Yeah.
Because maybe that would explain why he can't pull Dragon, or he can't pull Baron and Herald. And
Does that mean that you can't pull, like
a Cho'Gath, right? That's
or
like
a
super
Scion.
stacked? Yeah, or a Scion. Maybe it just has a weight limit.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be interesting, right?
Shouldn't it work the other way then? You pull the Blitzcrank to the target, and it becomes kind of like a
Almost like a
very
thresh hook.
extreme thresh hook. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
We can have a chat to the balance team.
You know
about
what I
that
would
one.
like is a, Death Knights in WoW?
Yeah.
The Death Grip?
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Oh, that would.
Just
or
a point,
Scorpion
a
from
point
Mortal
and
Kombat.
click. Blitzcrank hook, that'd be nice. As like an ultimate.
Point and
Nice.
click.
Point and click. I'd like that. I think that's balanced.
Yeah, I think that sounds balanced. It certainly sounds balanced. Sounds like a great idea. Sort of like the old Rise Q. Am I right?
Yes!
Yeah. Just
I'm glad
really
that you're on the same page.
super balanced.
I'm really
video
glad
gaming.
to have you by my side.
Yep. Hey, look, it's the Annie tactic, isn't it? Really?
You're learning.
Yeah.
Have you been playing her lately?
Nah.
Probably haven't been winning them.
I haven't been playing.
Explains why.
Yeah. Exactly. You can't win if you don't play, but you also can't lose. Is what I've found. As Lava is happy just clearing out all of these minions. Very comfortable, but only has about a 4 CS margin. As Fake is going to be able to pull himself ahead in that farm after these minions do go down.
Sorkpen boots for Kennen as well in the itemization department. And interestingly, Yasuo going for the Berserker Greaves instead of a defensive kind of itemization against the massive amount of magic damage on the side of
Yeah.
SK Telecom. And interestingly, Teddy, looking like he wants to go Blade of the Ruin King. There's no tanks on the side of Hanwha Life.
I think the Blade of the Ruin King's synergy with the Ginsu's Rage Blade is just too good.
It is quite nice. It is quite nice. I'm just a little bit surprised that he doesn't go for the Wit's End to give the Kennen and the LeBlanc true damage.
True.
Inside of some of the team fights. You steal away enough of the magic resistance, the Stork 10 boots and the Oblivion Orb come in, give you the true damage onto the enemy team. It's really painful. And then also, you're going to be basically immune against the Vladimir just because of how much magic resist you have.
The thing that I really do like, though, is Blade of the Ruin King against Vladimir, who just gets a lot of flat health, but not necessarily a lot of resistances. So you do get to shred him. But basically free, as he's getting shredded up towards the top side as well, Sang-Yun. Clearing out some vision down here, but you can see Tal is well and truly behind. Loses the turret plate there against the cannon. What we thought was going to be a decent matchup for the Vladimir, but elsewhere on the map, things have gone poorly. You can see Bono is focusing on bottom lane control. That's why the Hemomancer is struggling. It's going to mean that SKT do need to play very far back. Relentless Pursuit already used here.
I'm not sure what Teddy and Mata are doing, but Faker almost here. That looked like a very close encounter.
Well, SKT are actually capitalizing on it very, very nicely. Shelly goes down at just over 10 minutes. She's going to throw herself towards the top lane
doing
out
it
of turret,
again.
and that's going to be even more of an advantage for Khan. Feels like the SKT win condition is get Khan ahead in the early game. He's able to then carry them to a position where they can win with the rest of the team in the late game. It's working out very, very nicely. Look at that, even Clid able to get himself a bunch of that extra gold. Good stun lance with the Mark of the Storms are activated. Shelly goes down and not going to find the second last plate on this turret.
Wasn't quite in range to try to go for a dragon kick and delete Thal before he was able to get into the Sanguine pool, so didn't want to risk it there, as Shelly did manage to pick up some plates.
And the thing that's come out of all of this is the fact that the Gragas-Yasuo duo hasn't been utilized almost at all.
Yeah, there just has been no synergy
No.
between the two.
And it's because Bono's been on catch-up duty this entire time. He's been trying to get himself back into a game against a Lee Sin, where theoretically the Gragas should have a little bit of extra priority around this jungle. In the earlier stages, Key comes in, tries to clear out this control ward, but Mata wants none of it. Only one cheeky auto attack there with those boxing gloves is what the Blitzcrank is allowed.
Ocean Drake coming up in 8 seconds. This is not something that either team really needs to fight over. Hanwha Life have two champions that don't even utilize mana.
Yep.
And both of these team compositions are a very all-in, we're going to go in one burst type of team comp. Neither one is poke-based, neither one is siege-based. And so Ocean Drake doesn't really do anything. Yes, SK Telecom already has one, but it doesn't really matter. They have 2 champions that don't utilize mana either. Hanwha Life, they're going to commit 4 champions to doing this. Faker not around. Teleport coming in, though. This is the weirdest thing I've seen.
Yeah, we've got double teleports actually from on both sides, as Marta is going to be the first one in here. Chains of Corruption do land. Sungyun gets himself out of the fight, but that is not exactly the culling that they wanted to see. Lava does find the ultimate, gets the flowback, tries to dive forward. They've traded 1-for-1 so far, but Marta is able to limp out of there. And it is going to be both the Gragas and the Yasuo going down. Fight in favor of SKT.
And SK Telecom, they managed to pick themselves up some kills right there. And Hanwha Life, they picked themselves up in Ocean Drake, but we already talked about that's not something that you feel that great about. And now they're going to lose some turret plates in mid. Thal is here, but he's not going to be able to threaten the Kennen or the LeBlanc. At least not enough.
Oh, wow.
For either of them to care. And because they go for the trade, they end up missing out on that second turret plate. And I'm unsure if LeBlanc's going to actually be able to get it before Yasuo returns to the lane. 30 seconds remaining.
Yep, you can see 4 still sitting there, so it's only 1 turret plate to go down.
Oh! He got it.
Yeah, he's going to be able to pick that one up.
That was calculated.
Thankfully, the change came in so that even if you aren't in range, you're still able to pick it up. Based on the timer, as that's the Devour in trade for the Hook. I believe Hook on less of a cooldown than the Devour.
Oh, you can see that Hanwha Life maybe really want to get the turret plate, or Lucian just wanted to try to stop the recall.
Does do so successfully. You can see Gromp is what SKT going to head over to.
Yep. Bertha going down. Agatha still up.
Yep.
Maybe on the menu for Clid, though.
Turret plates do fall. As Sungyun gets hit by the hail of arrows.
We've seen them do this several times this game. They've never once really committed to it. All right, we're just going to bring 4 champions down here to raise the turret.
That is going to do it. That is going to be first turret blood going over to Hanwha Life here on the bottom side, but SKT are now closing in. 4 versus 4 as Vladimir and Kennen are well and truly far away from this scenario, but it's Kennen that's getting more work done, and the Abyssal Voyage is going to get the inside track. I love this.
This is beautiful.
Yeah,
this
use
is
it for the
really
rotations.
Beautiful play.
All right, Faker, he's going to get hit, but just distorts to get out of the way of the cask, and there's the Hemoplague. Tal trying to get what he can done here. Doesn't land on Tomato, though, and he's able to just body block. They save the outer turret in the mid lane, but that is a lot of cooldowns. Not available for Hanwha. Bit of a botch, to be perfectly honest, and I feel like we've been really treated to some fantastic Gragases recently, and Bono really having a bit of a horrible experience just there.
Hanwha Life don't really look like they know what they want to do in this composition. Everything just seems like people that are way too hesitant. They're being extremely cautious with their approach to certain things, and they're not really committing that heavily. And you can make the argument that, yeah, they have some scaling component. I mean, this was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in the world. Not only does SK Telecom commit to trying to stop the fight, and, you know, it ends up being a little bit better for Hanwha than it probably should have been, because Lava was very close to going down there before he was able to get his ultimate off. But nonetheless, it's just such weird priorities being dished out by Hanwha Life, and you can see Bono, yeah.
Distortion
very
timing,
close calls.
Pretty damn good, and then Mimic distortion timing, even better.
SK Telecom, they are ahead about 2,000 gold, 1.8 to be exact, but they're not out of the woods yet. There is still the extremely scary Wombo combos that will come in the later stages of the game. Static Shiv, the first item of choice for Lava.
Looks like he's going to go for the Sterix as item number 2, not going for the ultimate solo queue build in the Infinity Edge Rush second, as he has to flash to get out of the way of Faker and Cleared. We're following him in there. It's going to be a free one. Now Faker continuing to be aggressive. That is Runic Echoes complete, as we've got an Abyssal Voyage once more. Lava going to get immediately exhausted, and this is just Marta's ability to track down stragglers on the map and punish them.
That's a really nice pickup for them right now as the Yasuo continues to fall further and further behind. He is one of those champions in the game, though. He can be 0-10-0 as long as he's farmed up in terms of the CS department, though he's still relevant.
Yep, he's doing okay. Just looking for a side lane, wanting to be a nuisance.
Locate the champions that are knocked up into the air press are.
Yep.
It's a great feeling.
And it's pretty easy to do when you've got a Blitzcrank and a Gragas. There are a few knock-up opportunities there. Not exactly the full knock-up squad, not the bouncy castle. Okay, Faker, that was cute. That was really cute. I was blind as well. just baiting it out.
Oh, doing quite a bit of poke there.
Like
Tubano, Teddy backing off a little bit prematurely. Mountain Drake coming up in 5 seconds, though. This should be very high priority for both of these teams.
Well, Sangin actually going to soak a bunch of damage here from Faker and actually does it relatively comfortably. Control Ward goes down, looking to clear out vision. Faker lands the chains here onto Key. And it is going to activate Piercing Light. Probably not the option that you want to go with when the distortion can be followed, as Khan very close to having his teleport back up, that it is still on cooldown for the moment. Hanwha Life are fast. They will be able to get themselves a dragon here. And it will be traded for the top outer turret and the mid outer turret as well. SKT going to feel pretty comfortable taking that one down, as the Mountain Drake from behind is what Hanwha Life have themselves.
Yeah, and
that's just not what you want.
Rotating up to the top tier too, and this looks like it's going to be a pretty easy pickup as well. And so we talk about one of the things about Mountain Drake is that it can end up being a dead dragon if you're too far behind to utilize it. And so SK Telecom, they managed to accelerate themselves here. At 18.5 minutes in the game, they have about a 4,000 gold lead. Yasuo pushing in and crashing that bottom wave as Khan is going to move to begin his split push down in the bottom.
Now SKT are a little bit routed here in the mid lane. This tower is going to take a fair bit of damage. Chains connect. But Tal is going to get underneath his turret. Now, the Vladimir is a long way away from this potential engagement. Khan looking for the flank lava. Once again, possibly in the wrong position. That is a great weight on the explosive cast, but Marta's able to flash himself to get out. The slicing Maelstrom is doing exactly that, and SKT's team fight just looks too good. 4 already dead, Sangin running for the hills, and SKT, they wish it was 1 minute in the future where they could pick themselves up a Baron. Instead, they're diving under inhibitor turrets to try and get this last remaining player on Hanwha's side.
And I think that fight right there, I think it was probably way too decisive in favor of SK Telecom. I think that the gold advantage in the game has probably slipped away from Hanwha Life Esports, especially because of the way that they've itemized up until this point. You can see no magic resist present on any of their champions, and with the items that they currently have, there's clearly no intention to go into it. So the Kennen and the LeBlanc are still going to be so powerful.
Yeah, this is a
for the
2-item
foreseeable
Kennen
future.
as well. Look at him. He's got so much money from this Klepto. He's really had a great time.
Yep.
Against the Vladimir, top side of the map. Zhonya's and the Morellonomicon, perfect for going up against Vladimir, and perfect for team fighting as well, and we saw exactly what it was good at. As our Lava tries to hit the LeBlanc with a wind wall, that doesn't do damage.
And maybe the one last hope for Hanwha Life is some sort of a Hail Mary Baron. You have the Yasuo, so definitely have quite good Baron taking potential. You have the Mountain Drake as well, but you can't be feeling too good right now. We'll take another quick look at this replay. Lava flashes prematurely because of the location of Klid and Khan. They end up managing to knock up Mata, but it just doesn't matter, as Klid and Khan are able to completely destroy this team fight as Faker picks up Stranglers on the outside. Abyssal Voyage came in after that, but I'm not going to cut to that part.
Yeah, exactly. And Pikachu just did Pikachu things. That was the
Who's
Thunderbolt.
Pikachu? Oh, okay, Kennen.
Yeah, and it did a heck of a lot of damage. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. You can see 2.7k, nothing to slouch at. As this is a team fight that you win. It's one where the Vladimir doesn't actually get to do anything at all.
Yeah.
Again, he's going to be playing without that extra 10% CDR in his build. This is what he went for last time on the Vladimir.
A little bit interesting. He's only sitting at probably around 25%-ish right now, depending on if he has the CDR from the...
he does have Transcendence.
No, the other one.
And the scaling one in
Yeah,
his
the
rooms.
scaling one. Is there a name for that?
Scaling CDR.
Oh, yeah? Is that...
I'd probably give, that's what I'm going to call it. Lock that one in.
All right.
Tal and Khan, both of them going for a flanking play, as the rest of the team from SKT just looking to start up this fight. You can see they're all stacked up. Khan, lightning rush is there, but no flash. Thankfully, for Hanwha Life fans. Get himself once again another fantastic team fight. He's got an easily large rod. He's going to be doing even more damage in these fights. But look at Teddy. He's 305. He's just cool, calm, and collected, getting himself to a 950 gold bounty on this Varus. Varus not exactly flashy, but does a heck of a lot of DPS.
Yeah.
If you give him enough time.
the only way for Hanwha Life to maybe come back inside of this game is if they can pick up maybe the second Mountain Drake and then win a team fight decisively. We saw Vladimir pick up the last Invisibly Large Rod a couple of moments ago, so can't imagine that he's too far off from being able to complete the death cap. And so that would obviously be a major item spike, as well as the Sterix on the Yasuo. So if they can hold off until those item completions, get themselves the Mountain Drake somehow, maybe they can win a decisive team fight. The bounties will propel them back into the game.
They do have pick opportunities, right? They do have the rocket grab. They've got a knock up from that as well, so they can chain that into lava. They've got Bono coming around and can land some of these casts that we've seen the likes of Cuz and Score do fantastic things with. Punch as well for Damwon earlier on in the week. So there are, like you say, certainly ways to come back in. The comeback mechanics aren't, let's just hope everyone falls into a coma at the same time, like you mentioned in game number 2, because that one did seem like it was very over by about 20 minutes in. This time, it's a different story. Hitting about 23.5 minutes here between SKT and Hanwha Life, but it is certainly an advantage for SKT. 7.5k gold is going to be the difference, and it's going to take one of those Hail Marys, like we were talking about, in order to get Hanwha back in. Mountain Drake goes over. That's going to even out the Drakes. Between both of these teams, now SKT going to focus on trying to grab themselves a purple worm.
Mountain and Ocean for both teams, as you did just mention. And now Hanwha are going to find themselves hard-pressed. It's a little bit of choose-your-own-adventure here for the Yasuo as he picks up a BF sword.
What are the options in this adventure? He said choose. We're going to have to hold that point. Clid going to go a little bit aggressive there onto Bono, but they trade a bit of their health bars. It's actually relatively even as far as that trade is concerned.
Not too much happening. This is a very bizarre lull state given the advantage that SK Telecom have. Maybe they're waiting for Khan to complete his death cap.
They got 3 items on Teddy here as well, so they're happy to go into an AoE team fight now with the Runon's Hurricane completed. He's very, very strong, guys. The arrow lands onto the champions, but they do manage to siege out this outer turret in the mid lane. That is going to be just some free money going back in as, okay, Bono doesn't find the last breath activation as Faker takes the culling to the face, but Teddy just does way too much DPS, and Bono just whiffs it completely.
Well, I was anticlimactic.
Yeah, well, that's going to be Baron, and maybe even the game's going over to SKT. That's a whoopsie. I'm going to put that in the whoopsie column.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to have poor performances on certain champions to really give the big ups to the great performances that we've seen. So thank you for doing that work for us, Bono.
Khan is just threatening a flank right now, and so Hanwha Life, they're going to nope out of that one.
Yeah, that's a dead Baron.
That was like, you know in The Exorcist?
Yeah.
In Scary Movie 2? Guy walks into the room and then just walks right out as soon as he's...
Yeah, it's like, nope. Not today.
Yeah.
Well, that was basically what it felt like watching Bono go for that engagement here. And yeah, Lava was just like, you know what? I'm not going to go in on this one.
Yeah. Bono definitely doing his best Gragas impression right there. Maybe a little bit too much to drink right there on that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's method acting. That's method acting, and we don't want that. Not here. Not when it comes to Gragas. All right, Khan clears out their minion wave. Does have the Baroned up minions now heading towards the base of Hanwha Life. Inner turrets are at a premium at the moment, as SKT are looking for their final one. 5 turrets to 2 is going to be that scoreline, and we're very close to a 10,000 gold lead for SKT. 26 minutes into this one. Feels like they shored up the issues from game number 1, and they're very happy that Sandbox dropped a game yesterday. Because even with a 2-1 victory, it means that SKT do move back up to 2nd place. Bono, in he comes once again as Marta gets the QSS flash in beautiful timing to deny the knockback. And SKT say, you can throw as many ults at us as you want, we're still going to win this game.
And now Faker looking for some sort of poke. Gets a little bit of it onto the Gragas.
Lands it nicely. And I feel like not all of it is Bono playing terribly. I feel like a lot of it is Bono getting constantly outplayed by Marta's Tahm Kench.
Marta Abyssal Voyaging down into the bottom lane. That is a massive wave. That's a thick wave, Atlas.
Yeah, and that's Marta also dodging a hook without actually having any vision of the Blitzcrank as well. Continuing to be great. on Thomas. And that is that last inner turret that I was talking about before. That is going to project SKT over the line when it comes to that 10,000 gold lead.
Just thought of a skin idea.
All right. Do we want to talk about it
Thomas,
after the ensuing fight?
This isn't much of a fight, but you take it over.
All right. That's going to be Khan. Slicing Maelstrom does get himself one of the kills, does most of the health bar of Bono and Lava, and that is going to secure the base broken. Are they just going to push forward and try and win this game? I think the answer is going to be yes. Not a lot of flashes remaining here as Teddy's got so much DPS. 4 members still alive here from Hanwha. They have some more buttons. And the explosive cask has just come back off cooldown, but I think the damage has been done, to be perfectly honest here. They take down 2 of these inhibitors. Lava is going to tank up the Sonic Wave. Khan just looking for it once again. He wants to rip apart the rest of this Hanwha squad. Nexus turret's now under fire. Lava doesn't find any of the knockups there. That is going to be the knockback, but no last breath is going to be employed because Lava just didn't have the health bar for it. He gets back onto the fountain. 1 second until Tal is back up. SKT might need to pay respect to the Vladimir that does have the death cap as Lava just taking way too much damage. Windwall does come up to save his life. Devour comes in there. Okay, that's a lot of damage as Faker is going to get taken down. Lava is going to survive, but Tal just can't do it. Nexus turret's now going to fall. The piercing arrow is going to come in. Key, not a lot of options here as the Blitzcrank does land the hook onto Mata. He gets hit by the last breath, but the Nexus is going to get taken down, and SKT find the reverse sweep, and Hanwha put it to the ground in Game 3.
And that was a relatively clean game number 2 and 3 by SK Telecom. Definitely Game 3, they got some really massive advantages that all stemmed from that one middle lane fight where Hanwha Life had no business being as far up as they were.
Yeah, and also that overstay from Bono on the bottom side. Trying to get Bertha, I believe. Trying to take down the Gromp there on the blue side of the map, but there was vision available. And it just wasn't enough punishment. You can see big smile on Sungyun's face. Him and Khan good friends, but it is going to be the SKT win that we were all expecting moving into this series. They've been getting a few 2-1s though recently, losing a game to KT, now losing one to Hanwha Life as well.
They're spreading the love.
Yeah, they're getting the desired results, but also just giving us our money's worth. Thank you very much, SKT. Just want to see more of the Dream Team on the ring.
Well.
Also, I just need to apologize for cutting you off when you were talking about your skin idea. Because that fight led all the way up until the very end of the game, and so I'm sure everyone at home really just wants to hear about your skin idea.
Well, I'm sure that fight was more like the Cell games. You know, Hercule fights Cell?
Yeah.
So, you know, I've seen that a couple of times, so I knew where that fight was going.
Yep. So, I've actually seen those episodes a few times as well.
Well, then why were you excited?
What do you mean? I mean, I was just excited because I wanted to hear it for myself, you know, to make sure that that's what you were talking about.
All right. Well, the skin idea is, you know Thomas the Train?
Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine. Yeah.
Thomas the Tank Engine. What if they made
a Tank Engine? And is it going to be voiced by Ringo Starr as well?
Now you're thinking.
Oh my goodness.
These are some pretty good skin ideas.
That sounds absolutely amazing.
What if there's a Super Saiyan 3 Yasuo skin? Blonde hair with electricity that cracks when he has the third tornado thing?
Yeah. That's really cool. All right, Faker waves to the camera. I wonder whether that man is going to pick up an MVP for himself for his LeBlanc play. Could potentially be happening here, as Faker is always disappointed if he doesn't get an MVP after these games. As we've heard in most of his interviews, he's often like, yeah, well, I should have got the MVP. Even though he has players like Teddy and Clint on his team that have been hard carrying throughout a lot of these games. Khan also having some pretty phenomenal performances, but I would like to have an interview with the man in the mid lane himself. So we'll see whether he does pick that one up and gets to have a chat with Mina, and we get that beautiful translation from G-Sun as well. So that is going to be SKT picking up that 2-1 victory. Congratulations to them. A little bit unfortunate for Hanwha Life, but Hanwha
looked
almost destined to be 6th place every single
scared
season.
And hesitant in that last game.
Yeah.
Especially the blunder where Yasuo had priority. He was down in the jungle, and it was just shortly before Gragas decided he wanted to capture a level 1 Gromp. And actually, speak of the devil. Yeah, this is it. Now, why is Key still here? The AD carry had already recalled. Yasuo had returned into mid lane. He just had no business doing this. And then Hanwha Life commit to an open dragon here. And SK Telecom, they handshake the fight. It was really unfortunate. You can see Lava lived with a hair of HP, and he was able to get that kill onto Clid, and that was it for that ensuing fight. And then just shortly after this is where we get the slicing Maelstrom engage. Not before, though, Mata taking a little bit of an abyssal voyage, letting Yasuo know that he's not welcome on the bottom half.
Mata's Tom Kent play this game was absolutely fantastic. As you can see, always able to get these devours, and that, in fact, set up the team for this, which was Khan tearing everyone apart.
That's a microburst, and Hanwha Life were a plane.
Yeah.
So that's
Sonic Boom right there.
yeah.
As Mata, the casual sidestep to the right, gets him in range of the Devour and out of the range of the Explosive Cast and denies absolutely everything. As we didn't get to see his amazing QSS flash, as this was the slicing Maelstrom from Khan.
Yeah. That was
Right
really
on
good
the
by
edge.
Clid. He knocked Vladimir right into it.
Yeah.
Knocked him right onto the electric fence.
I hear that Clid's pretty good at leasing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I hear around the traps.
I actually thought that was a very impressive Devour. Not so much this distortion on a Faker, but the Devour was quite good. This also really impressed me by Telecom.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, if they had a bit more money, that would have been instant pentakill. But unfortunately, they were just a little bit far behind. And the Nexus does go down. Finally, he does land a hook that actually works.
Thomas ended right at the very end.
I know. That's
Not
probably-
able to be freed.
That may have cost Mata his MVP.
And so I'm imagining that this game, you have to give the MVP, right, to Khan.
You have to give it to Khan or Mata, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I actually don't think that's where it's going to go, though.
Oh, of course not. You know, knowing everything, you know, LeBlanc with that 10.1k damage that occasionally added some poke to a Gragas.
Yeah.
That'll end up getting the MVP. Not Clid either.
I mean, we did have a little
Finding
bit of
the
a spoiler.
Gragas.
We had a bit of a spoiler in our head, and it did
There
say
we go.
that Faker was the MVP. I don't know where. I think he might be third on my list. Fourth, maybe. I have.
I think I would go down the list with Khan into Mata, into Clid,
into Faker,
into
Teddy?
Faker, into Teddy. Yeah, that would be my list.
Yeah.
For MVP. Maybe Bono would be second.
Sorry. Well, that one actually killed me. All right, well, Faker's going to get it, guys. Look out for the Reddit thread for LS, because this is it's a very strange one.
It really is. I mean,
this was a great play in isolation. However, if you saw what Mata did throughout this entire game, and what Khan was able to do damage-wise.
Mata had some fantastic devours.
Yeah.
Some fantastic flashes, some really nice abyssal voyages.
Yeah, even that QSS flash to deny the last breath was absolutely beautiful.
Clid.
In the last situation.
네,
Yeah, that was a weird one, so we are going to throw it over to G-Sun to make sense of it in this MVP translation.
칸 선수, 페이커
Thank you
선수
very much,
만날게요.
guys.
안녕하세요.
This is Susan with translation, and we're going to be joined by Khan and
어제
Faker for
사실
this interview.
3위로 떨어졌었기 때문에 약간의
Well,
위기감이 있었을 것
You guys,
같아요.
actually,
오늘
Sandbox
어떻게
took the second
준비하셨나요?
place yesterday, so how did you prepare for today's series?
딱히 오늘을 되게 중요하게 여긴 것보다는
It's
이제
not that
다른
we
경기도
prepared
같은
for
거 다
today
중요하기
specific.
때문에
I mean, all the
저희의
remaining
실수를
matches are
최대한
so
줄이고
important,
이제
so we just
앞서
focus
말씀드린
on
단점도
getting rid of our
최대한
mistakes
최대한
and
잘
getting
살려보자는
rid of our
의미로
weak points and
네,
making
특히
sure
칸
to pull off
선수의
our
탑의
strong
장점이
points
정말
in game.
빛났는데요. 1세트는 사실 잘 안 풀렸기 때문에
Game 1,
2, 3세트는
you guys
만족하실
were a
만한
bit
정도인가요?
challenging, but what about game 2 and 3?
네.
I think, yes, I'm
네,
quite
칸 선수의
satisfied with my play in game 2 and
케넨과
3.
또 라이즈가 빛났던 장면이었습니다.
네.
페이커 선수는
Faker,
1세트 때
in game
조금
1,
힘들었던 장면이 있기 때문에
there
2, 3세트
were
들어가기
some
전에
moments of
팀원들과
struggles.
얘기
So
많이
what kind
나누셨을
of
것
feedback
같아요.
went back and
무슨
forth
피드백
before
하셨나요,
going into
서로?
game 2 and 3?
뭐 일단 1세트 같은 경우에는
Speaking of game 1,
팀이 좀 주도권이 없어가지고 약간 바텀이 많이
SK
힘들어했었는데
Telecom
그래서
team,
3세트
as
때
a
많이
team, didn't really have a
피드백을
lot of
해서
priority, especially in the bot lane. So
네,
that was
특히
our
정말
focal
골드
point
차이도
during the
엄청
feedback.
났고요. 초반에 14분 전에 포탑 방패 다 긁어내는 모습도
Game
아주
2, you guys took
인상적이었습니다.
down all the turret
그
plates, and you guys were very
있었다고
aggressive.
생각을
And
하는데요.
the main
라이즈
character
픽을
was
딱
you, Khan.
가져오셨어요.
네.
아,
locked
이제는
in
탑이
Rise.
할 때다 이런 생각하셨나요?
Was it your turn to carry?
일단 픽의 자체가 좀 그런 의미도 있었고
Rise does
이제
have some kind of
그만큼
meaning as
좀
like
믿고
carrying the
준
game.
만큼 제가
And
해내야
also,
된다는
our
생각이
team was
있었기 때문에
trusting
좀
me
잘
to
됐던 것
play
같아요.
the DPS
네,
champion,
사실
so I had
라이즈가
some
빅게임
responsibility
다
to
되는
kind of
챔피언이기
answer
때문에
with good
한국에서 정말
plays.
좋아할 만한 챔피언이라고 생각이 들었거든요. 평소에 연습할
네.
때도 라이즈
Do you
위주로 많이 좀 준비를
Practice
하시나요?
Rise a lot during the
라이즈
streams
같은
and solo
경우에는
queue.
이제 좀 미드도 탑도
Rise
이제
is
뽑는데 좀
good
어려움이 없기
flex pick.
때문에 자주 나오기
Currently in
때문에
mid and top lane,
이제
so
연습할 때 기용이 자주 되는 편인 것 같아요.
That's why I
연습이
kind of
빛났던
practice it a
장면이
lot.
또 있었죠. 리신과의 호흡이 아주 빛났던 장면 함께
Let's
만나보겠습니다.
go through this highlight together. It's you and Clint in
이때
the top
필리드
lane.
선수가 진공 강제를 피해서 서 있다가 들어오셨어요. 천성들의 저는 연기도 너무 빛났다고 생각을
It
하는데
was
이 장면
actually
만들기 전에
standing
서로
still
어떤 얘기 나누셨나요?
in regard to
이게
Rek'Sai. So what's going on over
없는
there?
줄 모르고 제가 쫄아가지고 플래시를 썼거든요.
아,
네,
Well, I
저 장면이
actually
끝나고 나서 아니
didn't know
플래시
Rek'Sai
없었는데 왜
didn't have
플래시
flash,
썼냐
so I just
몰랐다고.
flashed back. But
다음엔 좀잘
after that,
들어보도록
someone
했다고
told me
얘기가
that
나왔었던
he actually
것
wasn't having any flash. Why did he
얘기를
flash back?
나눠보려고 했는데 좀
So
실수 얘기를 해주셨고요.
that was a
이
bit of a
장면
mistake
누가
actually
먼저
over
하자고
there.
콜이 있었나요?
일단
And whose call was it at the
탑에서
first
일단
place?
진교한 상황이 좀 괜찮기도 할 거고
Well, I had good
라이즈하고
trade in
블라디가
top lane,
유리하기 때문에
and
그러기도 하고 이제
Liza-
렉사이가 위쪽으로 올 것 같다고
Liza
이제
actually
필리드
wins
선수가 얘기를
Vladimir in
잘
top lane,
해줘가지고
and
서로
also
캐치하고 나서 잘 된 것 같아요.
we had good
리시가의
synergy
호흡이
over
잘
there to
좋았고요.
make the kill.
마지막에 기억나시죠?
네.
네, 세레모니라고 봐도 되겠죠?
And was that a ceremony that
세레모니라기보다는
ultimate
일단
to the
이제 좀 넥서스가 부서지는 게
fountain?
확정적이다 보니까 그냥 조금이라도 더 KDA를
Oh,
올리려고
not like a ceremony. I mean, we knew that
저희
the Nexus
팀원도
will go
이렇게
down for
KDA
sure,
치고
so we wanted
야,
to make our
멋있었습니다.
KDA look
미니언
better,
데리고
so we just
들어간 건
wanted more kill
아셨어요?
over
미니언
there.
어떻게 하면 좀 잘 데리고 들어갈 수 있나요?
미니언을 그냥 데리고 들어가다기보다는 미니언 많은 곳에서 궁 쓰면은
We just,
들어가기
I mean, I just
때문에
used my ultimate
예,
where
궁을 대신
there were a lot of
맞아주면은
minions,
그때도
so
안
we were
피해서
able to
죽일 수 있어서
run away
사실
from the
이거는
razors at the
방법이긴
first
합니다.
time we landed in
칸
their
선수의 팀원들
fountain,
KDA
so that
챙겨주기까지
wasn't a hard
깨알같이
play.
2세트 완벽했습니다. 그리고 3세트 와 페이커 선수의
Moving on
르블랑
to
정말
game number
엄청납니다.
3.
전적도
Your
굉장히
LeBlanc was
높거든요.
clean and
페이커 선수
perfect.
르블랑
네.
많이 좋아하시는 편인가요?
Do you like LeBlanc a
그냥
lot?
좀 태민이가 많이 좋아하더라고요.
I mean, Temin Clint likes it, to be honest.
태민 선수를 위한 픽이었다고.
Was that a pick
아,
for
그런 건
Clint?
아니고요.
네.
No?
그냥 좀
Not like
약간
that.
좀 태민이가 싫어하는 챔피언들을 하면 뭔가
Well,
좀
there's
말수도
a few
적어지고 그런 거
champions
같기는
that
한 것 같아요.
Clint doesn't really like, so if I
네,
pick him,
알겠습니다.
he actually doesn't
1세트
talk
이후에
much
2,
during the game.
3세트 굉장히 뱀픽이 촘촘해졌다, 확
And a
달라졌다라는
lot of
얘기들이
fans said
있었는데요.
that game 2 and 3,
선수들의
the draft
어필이었나요?
was
아니면
really
코칭
clean.
스태프분들이 많이 만들어주셨나요?
Was that from the
네,
coaching
물론
staff or
저희 선수들이
from the players?
여기에서 어떤 픽을 선택을 할지 이야기하는 것도 있지만
We have a lot of
코치님들이
communication
밤새도
during the pick and bans,
밤새
but mostly
공부를
about the
많이
draft,
하셔가지고
our coaching staff stay up
픽이
all
좋은
night
픽이 나온
to
게
come up with the best
네,
composition.
정말
So
많은
I
조합을
want to
준비해
give the credit to the
놨었고,
coaching
그중에 가장
staff.
최고의 픽들을 또 뽑아냈다고 생각을 합니다. 그런데 상대가 야라가스를 들고 나와서
However,
정말 미드에서
Actually,
좀 압박이
Hanwha
많이
Life Esports
느껴졌을 것
played
같은데
Yasuo Gragas
실제로
competition, so did you
페이커
feel some bit of
플레이를
a pressure?
보면서 야라가스의 존재감이 완전히 지워졌었거든요.
Well, I think your performance wiped out the existence of Yasuo and Gragas.
우선 뭐 야라가스가 일단 미드에서 굉장히
Well, Yasuo Gragas
주도권을 많이
composition,
잡는
they have a lot of
조합이잖아요.
priority in the
그래서
mid lane.
제가, 상대법을 잘 알기 때문에
But I know how to counterplay it,
좀 별로 위협적이지는
so it
않아요.
wasn't really that like scary for me.
가능하다면 상대법 하나만 꿀팁
Can you
공유해 주실 수
Let
있을까요?
us know one
일단
of
안
the
죽어지는 거.
counterplays. Just don't die.
왠지 그 얘기를 하실 것 같았습니다. 네, 오늘도 꿀팁 감사하고요.
Thank you very much for that useful
3세트
tip.
외줄타기 플레이가 굉장히
And
일품이었어요.
Your performance of
지금부터 함께
LeBlanc
만나보겠습니다.
was really awesome, so let's go through this replay together.
네, 페이커 선수가 이렇게 위로 올라오는 과정에서 오노 선수, 라바 선수가 끈질기게 따라옵니다.
Bono Lava was chasing you, but
이때 스킬
you just
다
casually
피하실 자신이
walked
있었던
out.
건가요?
일단 제 반응 속도를 믿고 했는데 아직은 좀
Well, I was trusting my reaction speed, and I think I am still good.
배치기 쓰는 걸 보고 그냥 쓰니까 좀
Well, I
약간
saw
좀
him
쉽게
using
피할 수
his body
있었던
slam,
거였던
so I was easily
야, 이
just
뒤에
able
그랩까지
to
막 다
dodge
피해내시는
that.
장면이 많았는데요. 팀원들이 뭐 미드 밀고 있을 때 또
And you were
3대1하는
also
장면도 나왔고요.
playing 1v3 when the rest of the player was pushing mid lane, and you were dodging all the hooks, and
일단
perfect. Your
저는
play was really
슈퍼플레이하고
perfect.
트롤은 한끗 차이기도 하고
I wanna say
상대가
there
그런
is no big
외줄타기
difference
속에서도
between
좀 되게
trolling
굉장히
and
활약을
super
많이
plays.
했던 선수기도 하고 해서 일단
And
이게 3대1 상황이어도 개의치 않고 잘해줄 거라고 그냥 팀원들
I
다
have a
믿고
faith in
있었기
Faker that
때문에
he can do
그런
well
결과가
even
나온 것
against a
네,
third player.
팀원들에게
So
든든한
I was
페이커
trusting
선수의
him.
플레이였고요. 오늘 정말 탑 미드가 너무너무 잘해줬습니다.
played
상체가
both
아주
top
아주
and mid.
든든했는데
The top
이제
side
몇
of the
경기
map was
남지
so
않았지만
strong and
다음
solid.
경기도 어렵습니다. 샌드박스와의
But your
경기인데요.
upcoming series will be up against
어떻게
Sandbox.
준비하실
How are you going to
계획이신가요?
prepare for that?
네, 저희가 1라운드 때 샌드박스한테
Well, Sandbox
졌었는데
defeated us in the first round robin.
생각을 가지고 있고요. 그리고
So
이번에
I want to make sure to take them down this time, the second round robin.
2등을 확정될 수도 있는 거고.
That is one of the most crucial game to keep us up in the second place. And if we lose, we might not be able to
네,
stay in
그래서
second
응원하도록
place, so we're going to
하겠고요.
prepare
판
really
선수도
hard.
선수 말씀하셨듯이 2, 3이 정말 치열한 순위 경쟁이에요.
Just like Faker mentioned,
보이스가
the
나왔는데
fight for second place will be so fierce. But I saw your mic check and you were saying nice with a very
기대해봐도 될까요?
angry voice.
좋은 모습 보여드릴 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다.
I hope to be
하지만 칸
calm
선수의
and
그
performing
멋진
well
다시
in
한번
that.
다음 경기에도
Sandbox game.
기대해보도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 MVP 칸
I'm just
선수,
going
페이커
to
선수
try my best in that
감사합니다.
Sandbox
감사합니다.
series.
네, SKT의
This will
기분 좋은
be the end
승리와
of the
함께
interview with
중계석
Khan and
연결할게요.
Faker from SK Telecom. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ji-Sun, for your translation. Great to hear from both of the solo laners from SKT. Khan playing absolutely fantastically there. And SKT, Faker did have a nice dodge of some Gragas abilities.
Yeah.
I'll definitely say that.
Well, SK Telecom get back into the second place, but obviously, when they collide against Sandbox, that will really be the decider of the second place match, as later on tonight, we have another series coming up.
We do. It is going to be Kingzone taking on Gen G, and that will be whether or not Kingzone can actually challenge for the second place themselves. A few more games to go, 2 more weeks after that series concludes at the end of this, so anything can still happen, especially with these teams that are on the western side of the conference. Eastern side, however, is all about trying to avoid the relegations. 6th place is once again looking to be owned by Hanwha Life. It just is a curse that they can't seem to get out of the way of. Did Curse ever do it? Did Curse ever break it? I guess they turned into Team
They
Liquid
need to
and
import
started
Steve.
winning, so that worked.
That's the only way.
Yep. Well, we'll see what is going to happen here, guys. We are going to have about a 30-minute break, something like that. It's not going to be too long before we're back with even more League of Legends in Gen G taking on Kingzone. Which bottom lane is going to prevail this time around? I'm going to try and figure out how to talk in the small break that we have until our next series. See you then.